This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Sophia Yvette.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Are you in need of a professional organizer? Well, one may be closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Marisa Hayes, with Absolute Touch Organizing. Marisa, how are you today?
Doing wonderful. How are you?
I am also wonderful. Now, we're excited to learn all about you and your business. Please start off by telling our listeners just a little bit about your company.
Okay, well, I started Absolute Touch Organizing in 2015, and we provide home organizing services. We actually work with hoarders. We work with those who struggle with extreme clutter and also disorganization. And we try to get them to get balance back in life or lead them to another step with therapy if needed, because sometimes there are other underlying issues that may be causing this, right? And so if there's something else going on, something bigger may need to take place before we can even move forward effectively, such as hoarding, because hoarding is a mental illness that's typically attached to other mental illnesses as well. So therapy may need to take place before we can actually be effective. So it's pretty deep, it's pretty deep when it comes down to professional home organizing, because a lot of times people think it's only things, but it's a lot bigger than that. So yes.
Now, Marisa, where does your heart for helping with this condition or the professional organizing industry in general come from?
Okay, I worked in the medical field actually for 20 years before I started my company. And so I actually started my company because there was a lady at church who needed help. She was disabled, and she asked me if I could help her. And so I told her, yes, I'll be happy to. And so I went over there, and she was borderline hoarder, and I was able to get things together, not knowing that I was able to actually do it. It was like a gift, right, that I was hitting. And so when I went over there to help her, I realized that there were a lot of people that needed help. So working in the medical field, I've always been a person that was a servant. I love helping others, but to know that I could actually help people in this way was actually surprising for me. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna move forward with this. And just the first thing I thought was, there's someone else who needs help. And so when I began that process, I learned a lot. I had no idea what I was getting into, honestly. And as I got deeper into it, I began to learn so much more, because initially you see a person's home, and I know that I was not the only one, and a lot of other people who go into a home and you see clutter or you see a really bad situation. You're like, oh my God, why do they want to do this? Do they really want to, or is there something deeper? So to be able to help someone who can help themselves, for one, is the first love and passion for me. But also the second part of it is helping them to be able to break free from what has been holding them back, to be able to get their house back, their life back, because it's not just a things. It's a lifestyle. It is your peace of mind. It is your happiness, your joy. So yeah, most definitely a lot more to it. But my passion is the love of being able to see people get their life back and make it a lot better for them. So yeah, and do something that unfortunately a lot of people can't. Mhm.
So it was really your servant heart that led you to this industry.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, most definitely a lot of purpose in it.
Now, when it comes to organizing, what is the most common myth or misconception you come across? I'm sure you can help us all out today.
Well, yeah. Well, first and foremost, I think I've already mentioned it. It's that a lot of people think that it's just things. When I go into a home and I do an assessment, they're like, oh, I've let these things get out of hand, or I've always had a problem with clutter. I've always had a problem with not being able to keep up with my house. But once we get into the work, now we begin to talk about childhood issues, how did they grow up? What were they programmed and taught as a child? Right. And so now it becomes a process of emotional decluttering, mental decluttering, spiritual sometimes, letting go of old beliefs like a spirit of scarcity, thinking that they don't have enough, thinking that they do not, that something really bad is going to happen. So they have to prepare. So now they're holding on to a lot of things and also filling voids after grief. So there are so many situations that I can place on this table right now, that is the cause for people's clutters, because some people don't get cluttered until later on in life or deal with hoarding until later on in life, which like I said before, it's not the same thing. Clutter and hoarding, not the same thing, but it can lead up to it. But yeah, so that is one of the biggest misconceptions, is that it's only things, or that it's, this is just junk. No, this is your life, this is your memory. Your entire house tells a story, from where you've been, where you are, and maybe even where you're going. So this is something to keep in mind the next time you go to someone's house, or if you battle with this on your own. It's not just about things. There's something deeper going on, and it may be more than likely attached to someone's childhood, because someone may have grown up where I had one client that was taught how to steal when they were a little child, because they were poor. And so, but she grew up and created this amazing life, but she still had this mindset of lack, that she wasn't going to have enough. So now she's overbuying and overbuying to fill the void, that I'm going to run out of money. But you have to trust the life you created. Your parents did what they could do. Now you have your own life. So who are you in this moment? So now we begin to let go of things that no longer serve you, physical, mental, and emotional as well.
Wow, thank you for sharing that with all of us today. And I think there's a huge misconception that we grow up and we think problems will just go away. But just to touch on the root of that, if we don't heal that trauma, then
Mhm,
essentially we're the same person, even if on the outside we've changed. So I agree with
mhm.
you 100% there.
Yes.
Now, switching gears for just a second, we know marketing
Yes.
is the heart of every business. Who are your current clients or your target clients outside of maybe people with a hoarding disorder? And today, how are you currently attracting them?
Believe it or not, I always tell people all the time, marketing, because everyone has a weakness, right? Cleaning and organizing is my thing. Bam, easiest one, two, three. Marketing is something that it was always a challenge for me in regards to moving forward in that. And I always tell people, if a lot of referrals have saved like that has been my whole business, believe it or not. My business has been word of mouth, very, very heavily. Yes, I am on Google. Yes, I am on Yelp. I am on Facebook as well. But being a person that does heavy marketing has not been my strong suit. It is, I always tell people, it is amazing that I have survived 10 years with word of mouth being as heavy as it has been for me. And it worked in my favor. Every once in a blue moon, I would do a little ad, or, but I am on TikTok though. Now I go live on TikTok. I just actually started that this year. I love it because I can go live, answer questions, because a lot of people go through a lot of things. And we actually have live conversations about it. But overall speaking, word of mouth has been my power force. It is a never failing blessing in my life. And so, but right now I'm actually working with Gilchrist Enterprises, as I'm getting ready to release 2 books. So I'm being a lot more intentional. One of the books is about grief decluttering. The other one is about letting go of things that no longer serve you. So those books will be coming out in February, and they're coming out together because it's sort of like an oxymoron, So um, it's very, never letting go is one book, and that is the grief decluttering, and letting go is the other one. letting go of things that no longer serve you. So it's most definitely going to be really interesting to see how this all plans out. So right now we are in that process of getting all of that together. And yes, I did hire someone to do that because, like I said, that is not my strong suit. That's something I always tell people. If you need a professional home organizer or a cleaning company or anything else, if it's not your strong suit, it's just not your strong suit. If you need help, you need help. So yeah, but back to the idea of about marketing, I tell you, that has been word of mouth, very heavy. And when I did work with property management companies, I actually did a lot of footwork because I am a very personable person. So I would go actually up there, very old school, introduce myself, my company, and that was it. Yeah. So.
Now, have you ever thought about having your own podcast before?
People have told me that I would be good at it. So, has it been a thought? Yes, but it's a very, it's one of those thoughts that's so far down on the list. Because TikTok is very powerful, in and of itself. I feel like that's a avenue that is completely maximized. But yes, I've thought about it, but I don't know if that's a course that I would go in, But yes, I've thought about it mainly because other people told me I'd probably be good at it because I'm able to, talk to people. I love communicating. I love learning about other people, other businesses. So yeah, it was a thought, but it's one of those things that's very far down on that list of maybes.
Well, Marisa, we are just about out of time for today's interview, but one final question for you. Where can our listeners go to learn more about Absolute Touch Organizing?
Oh, they can go to absolutetouchorganizing.com. That is my website. And they can book a consultation with me if they would like for me to come out to do an assessment in their home. But I also provide virtual services as well. So I do have clients that's out of state and we work on video, and I live coach you through the process of decluttering and organizing your home. So absolutetouchorganizing.com is the website where you would go and just put your message in there. Let me know what's going on with you in regards to some people, like I said, they have had someone to pass away. And so now they have to get the house on the market or let go of things that's really difficult. And then you may have someone that may have gotten sick and gotten behind, or may have a family member. So it's a lot of situations that we can discuss, but putting those details in there allows me to see a little bit into their world before we actually get on a phone call.
Well, Marisa, I really appreciate you being on the show today. We wish you and your business the best moving forward.
I appreciate you as well, Sophia, for having me. I was very happy to find out someone nominated me to be on here. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpfrisco.com. That's gnpfrisco.com. Or call 469-221-9345.